You're standing in line at a grocery store, holding a basket with eggs, bread, and a half-off rotisserie chicken, and you have $300 million. Nobody behind you knows it. Not the cashier, not the man checking his phone 3 feet away. Not even your neighbor who waves at you every morning and has no idea that the quiet person across the street could buy his entire block and never notice the dent in their bank account. This isn't a daydream. This is your actual life now. And the strangest part isn't the number sitting in your accounts. It's what you choose to do with it. Or, more specifically, what you choose to hide. Here's the question that's about to bother you for the rest of this video. Why would anyone with $300 million decide that the smartest move is to look completely ordinary? You'd think more money means more freedom to show it off. A bigger house, a louder car, a different version of yourself. Finally unlocked. But somewhere between your first million and your 300th, you learned something that most people never get the chance to learn. And it changes everything about how you live, what you trust, and even how you talk to people you've known for years. Stay with this one, because by the end, you're going to understand a financial decision that almost nobody tells you about. The kind of decision that has nothing to do with stocks or savings accounts, and everything to do with protecting a life you worked too hard to lose. And we're going to do the math too. Real numbers, real growth, real spending. So by the time this is over, you'll know exactly what it actually feels like to manage this kind of money without anyone catching on. Let's start at the beginning. Imagine you didn't inherit this. You built it slowly, painfully, across almost 2 decades. A business that started in a spare room. Years where you reinvested everything instead of paying yourself. A handful of decisions that could have gone wrong but didn't. And then, somewhere around year 14, the curve bent upward in a way that felt almost unreal. You sold a piece of that business for $190 million. The rest sat in investments that, over time, with an average return of around 7% a year after inflation, grew into the $300 million you're sitting on today. Run that number for a second. $300 million invested conservatively, earning even a modest 4% in safe withdrawals a year, generates $12 million annually, without ever touching the principal. That's not a hypothetical. That's just math. You could spend $30,000 a day every single day for an entire year and still not get through it. So here's the part that surprises people the most. You don't. You drive a 6-year-old SUV with a small dent in the rear bumper you've never bothered to fix. You still check the price of bananas. You wince a little when delivery fees show up at $4.99. Not because you have to, but because something in you decided early on that staying normal wasn't a sacrifice. It was protection. And that decision, the one to live like someone with $80,000 a year instead of $12 million, is exactly the kind of habit this video is going to unpack. Because there's a hidden cost to extreme wealth that nobody warns you about. And we're getting to it. Not yet, but soon. If this is the kind of thing that fascinates you, how people quietly think about money, freedom, and the decisions nobody talks about out loud. This is exactly the corner of the internet for you. The people who watch videos like this aren't chasing get-rich-quick fantasies. They're curious about how money actually works once you have enough of it to stop worrying. So if that's you, you're in the right place. And sticking around means you'll start seeing the financial world the way people with real wealth see it. Now, back to you. What if the first thing you learned the very first week the money became real wasn't about taxes or investing? It was about people. You tell one friend, just one, someone you trust completely. Within 3 weeks, 2 people you've never met send you messages asking for just a small loan. A cousin you haven't spoken to since a wedding 6 years ago suddenly wants to catch up. You realize, almost overnight, that money doesn't just change your bank balance. It changes how people behave around you, sometimes before you've changed at all. So you stop telling people, not out of distrust, but out of self-preservation. You start describing your job vaguely. I do some consulting. I'm in investments. True, but intentionally boring. You watch people's eyes glaze over with disinterest, and for the first time you feel something unexpected. Relief. That disinterest, it's the safest feeling in the world. You start noticing it everywhere. At parties, in waiting rooms, in line at the pharmacy. The world treats boring as invisible, and invisible, you realize, is the closest thing to armor that money can buy. You stop correcting people when they assume you're somewhere in the middle class, comfortable, but unremarkable. Let them assume. Assumptions you've learned are quieter than truth. Imagine waking up on a Tuesday. You don't sleep in, you don't lounge by an infinity pool because you don't own one. Your house has 3 bedrooms and a yard that needs mowing, just like it did before any of this happened. You make coffee in the same machine you bought 4 years ago. You open your laptop and look at your portfolio. It's split the way any good advisor would tell you to split it. Roughly 60% in diversified equities, 25% in bonds and fixed income for stability, 10% in real estate holdings that generate quiet, consistent rental income, and 5% in cash reserves, sitting there for emergencies or opportunities. Nothing flashy, nothing concentrated in one risky bet, because when you have this much, the goal quietly shifts. It's no longer about getting rich, it's about never becoming poor again. That shift, from growth to preservation, is one of the loops we opened earlier, and here's where it pays off. The wealthy don't ride or die on a single stock or a single idea. They diversify because losing 40% of $20,000 is painful, but losing 40% of $300 million is the kind of mistake that makes headlines and ends marriages. You decide around your second year of managing this to set up something most people have never heard of. A simple structure to separate your personal spending from your long-term holdings. A modest monthly salary you pay yourself from the portfolio's growth, enough to live comfortably without ever dipping into the principal. You set it at $15,000 a month, not because that's all you can afford. You could pay yourself 50 times that, but because anything more starts to feel less like security and more like a leash. This is the part people don't expect. The danger was never running out of money. The danger is the version of you that starts needing more, faster, constantly. The version where $15,000 stops feeling like enough, then $30,000 doesn't either. And before you know it, you're spending against growth instead of letting growth compound quietly in the background. Imagine turning down a car. Not because you can't afford it. You could buy the dealership, but because the moment you drive something that draws attention, you've invited 1,000 quiet questions you don't want to answer. What do you do for a living? How do you afford that? Who are you really? You realize that visibility is the one luxury you can't actually purchase without losing something else in return. Privacy. And privacy, it turns out, might be the most expensive thing you own. Except you didn't buy it with money. You bought it by saying no to almost everything that screams wealth. But here's where it gets interesting, because staying invisible doesn't mean staying passive. Behind the ordinary car and the modest house, you're still making decisions every single week that most people never see. You rebalance your portfolio every quarter, trimming positions that have grown too large and reinforcing ones that haven't kept pace. A discipline that sounds boring but is one of the few things proven over decades to protect long-term returns. You think constantly about inflation, because $300 million today won't have the same purchasing power in 20 years. At a steady 3% inflation rate, the cost of living roughly doubles every 24 years, which means the version of you sitting here decades from now needs this money to keep growing just to stand still. You think about taxes, not to avoid them, but to plan around them intelligently, timing certain withdrawals, holding some investments longer to benefit from different tax treatments, working with professionals instead of guessing. You're not trying to outsmart the system. You're trying to not waste through carelessness what took 14 years to build. None of this happens with excitement. There's no adrenaline in rebalancing a portfolio or reading a tax document twice. It's quiet, repetitive, almost monk-like work, the kind of discipline nobody films for a highlight reel. But you've come to realize that the boring decisions repeated consistently for years are the actual engine behind everything. The growth isn't a single brilliant move. It's hundreds of unremarkable ones, made on schedule, without emotion. And then there's the part nobody warns you about, the part we hinted at earlier, the hidden cost of all this. It's loneliness. Not the dramatic movie kind, the quiet kind. The kind where you're at a dinner with old friends and they're stressed about a car payment and you genuinely want to help, but you've learned that helping too visibly changes the relationship forever. So you sit there carrying a secret that isn't shameful, just heavy. You smile, you nod, and you say nothing about the seven-figure decision you made earlier that day. You realize wealth, kept silent, creates a strange kind of isolation. Not from money, but from being fully known. And that's the trade nobody tells you about when they imagine what $300 million would feel like. But here's what balances it. Imagine the version of you 5 years into this, watching a single mother in your old hometown get an anonymous donation that covers her son's surgery. You set up a donor-advised fund years ago, a structure that lets you give consistently and strategically, fully tax-deductible, without your name ever attaching to the gift. You've quietly funded 12 of these moments. Nobody knows. Nobody ever will. And that, more than the house you didn't buy or the car you didn't drive, is the moment you understand what the money was actually for. You realize true wealth was never about the number. It was about the quiet, almost invisible freedom to choose privacy over attention, security over spectacle, and meaning over recognition. Somewhere along the way, the $300 million stopped being the point. The version of you who could walk through a grocery store, basket in hand, completely unnoticed, completely at peace. That was the point all along. And maybe that's the part worth sitting with after this video ends. Not what you'd buy with that kind of money, but what you'd finally be free enough to walk away from.